Hello, my name is Theo. I'm a team rider for FLYSURFER and I'm also involved in the research and development of the VMG. And today I'll try to answer a couple frequently asked questions. You feel like your kite is not perfectly trimmed, or if you spend a lot of hours on it, I would really recommend you to read the trim guide available on the VMG product webpage. I would really want to take care of it and stuff. I would basically rinse the bridle lines for sure, and most of the time I would also rinse the canopy with the clear water. And always, really, that's the most important. Even if you don't have the occasion to rinse it, just please make sure that the kite is dry when you put it back into his bag. So it can happen that you will need to replace, check, or remove or put back either rigid foil, fiberglass rod, or reconnect the bridle, and I'm gonna show you how to do it. I'm gonna go through the errand tree. If I wanna get rid of this rigid foil, I'm gonna put my hand all the way there. There are like cross ports inside of the wing where you can just pass your hand. On the bottom sail, I try to figure out where the rigid foil stops. So we can see that the rigidity of the rigid foil ends here. So I'm gonna grab this part and just bring it out of the wing. You can see that I'll have a little part where the seam is stopped, which will allow us to bring it out. So I'm gonna bring the rigid foil out from this part, remove the extremity that stands in the pocket end, and then pull it all the way till it's out. So always the same, you want to go to the pocket end, grab it out of the kite, and when you have it, you will grab one extremity, put it back in, and slowly pull it inside. Once it's a little bit in, you can just go from the outside and pull from the outside. I'll slowly do it so I don't damage any fabric or anything inside of the wing. Once I feel like I can't go any further, I check that the rigid foil is right in the pocket end. So you can just check out through the fabric, and I can clearly see that the rigid foil ends by the end of the reinforcement patch from the rigid foil pocket end. So this is a good sign. I'm then gonna spread the tension all the way to the entry of the rigid foil and put it back in. I'll go back through the kite, grab the end, pull it out, and then when I have the extremity going out, I'll just take the extremity, slide it down, pull it all the way to the end of the rigid foil pocket, and then tension the front part and put it back in the pocket end. And I have my rigid foil back into place. I'll always check from the outside if it looks good, if the tension is fine, if there are no wrinkles or anything, and when it's back in and everything looks good, it means you did good. Have to remove or replace it, here is how you have to do. So always the same, you have to grab an iron tree, put your hand in there, and then go to a loaded rib, the one which have attachment points, check where the fiberglass ends, grab it and bring it out of the kite. Something you should know, which can save you a lot of time, is that all the fiberglass sticks are located like inside towards the center of the wing. So if I want to go on the left wing tip, I always use the inner air intake to grab it instead of the outer one, just so you know. Here is my fiberglass rod. You can see that the reinforcements and where they are made are a little different than the rigid foils, but there is still this little opening which will allow us to bring it out. So what I want to do is increase the tension of the rigid foil, the fiberglass rod, exit it from the pocket end, bring it out, and then I can just pull it out. I will try to find the other extremity to hold it, to be able to pull with a bit more tension, so I don't damage any fabric. And here we are. So I now put it back. I grab the extremity. Make sure it's nice and free from any strap or anything that could be damaged. And I just slide back the little opening toward the trailing edge. And now I use my phone to push the sticks toward the end to bring back the other extremity. I would recommend you to use a rock or something more durable than your phone, but here is what I have. So you want to push the sticks toward the pocket, press with your fingers, and then I grab the extremity and let it go back in. And when it's back in, you can just put back the stick in, check that it looks good, there is no wrinkle, and it's good. So one really important point to get the best of the lifespan and the performance of your VMG would be the packing. So first of all, I would check that all my bridles are somewhere clean, so I don't have any crazy tangle when I pack it. Then I would grab the lower wing tip and roll my kite to get rid of all the air that stands inside. So once my kite is without any air, I'm just gonna get close to my kite bag, leave it on it, and then reopen the kite. Then I'm gonna grab one of the wing chip and get all my fiberglass rods on top of each other so they don't twist and they don't put pressure on anything else. So what I usually do is grab the attachment points, I grab the stick, I go to the next attachment points, I grab the stick, next one, stick, stick, and so on all the way to the center of the wing. I'm gonna go to the leading edge and make sure that all the rigid foils are flaked on top of each other. So I start from the center, I'll put it flat, get to the next one, and I go all the way to the wing tip this time. So now I have the two sides of my wing flaked cell on cell, and I want to put them all together to one side, and knowing that I would rather have all the bridle lines toward the center of the bag, so they won't bother me with the zipper. So I'll grab both sides make sure that they're on top of each other. Same for the sticks. And then I'll use the clippers to limit any movement from the leading edge. Up, tight. And now my leading edge is nicely packed, and I know I can put it in a board bag, in a whatever garage car without expecting any issue or deformation from the material and the rigid foils. So now you have different options. Now you have your leading edge nice and clean. Either you can just dip the kite and make sure that the rest of the wing just fits the bag. Either you know you're gonna go in the plane or you're gonna store your kite for a long time and you really want to make sure it's packed the best way, then you will go toward the trailing edge, toward the center. And now what I will do is folding cell on cell, every cell. So if I start from the center, I'll grab this cell, leave it to the outside, bring one cell to the inside, block it here, bring the other one to the outside, block it here, and so on, all the way to the wingtip. So my trailing edge looks really nice. Let me do it, I'll show you the result right after. The result you should expect. And now I have my kite really well packed. I have all my bridles toward the bottom sail. I can just clip the second clips and close the zipper. When I close the zipper, I always want to make sure that no material goes through the zipper, so we have a little protector in there, but I most of the time still put my hand in there and make sure no lines or no material goes in the zipper. And when I arrive toward the end of the kite, I just fold the trailing edge like this, make sure it goes in the bag, and finish clothing the bag. I make sure that there are no fiberglass sticks twisted. I can feel that they are all flat, and I'm all good and ready to go.